Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host Mariam Shapir and you are watching program Follow Up. Today we will talk about much debated issue in the region, coronavirus about it, and the most relevant person to speak about it is Chinese ambassador to Pakistan, Mr. Yao Zing. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your time. As per media reports, the outbreak which started from Wuhan city has affected around 300 plus people, which unfortunately lost their lives. And according to media reports, the infected people are more than 20,000. So I would like to know, and many other people based in Pakistan and outside this region would like to know, what is current status of coronavirus in China, and in how many parts it has spread.
I think that because of this kind of unknown virus, I think it is a very big challenge for China and the Chinese people. So the situation is still very serious, grave. As you mentioned, that more than almost 20,000 have been confirmed, and still the similar number of they are the suspects, and more than 300 people unfortunately died, lost their lives. But we also have cured, saved more than 500 patients. So this is a little positive indication, as I said, that right now we are developing more and more structured therapies, medicines, or medications for that. With the passage of time, and this time should be very short, we definitely will work out some kind of effective treatment, medication, and therapy for this virus.
So what really is the strategy of China to deal with it? We know that doctors are really busy saving patients, but scientists and at governmental level, what really are measures being taken in China to
in fact, we several fronts. First is that we control the center of the affected, that is Wuhan city and the Hubei province. This is because the outbreak happened over there, and most of the affected are living there. So that right now this city and also this province is almost shut down, and there's no out contacts with them on that. So that, and the main medication or treatment is happening in this city because most of the affected are there. Second is that we do our best, more than best, almost to control the spread. I mean, first is within China, second is globally. So this control of spread of this virus, that, for example, we shut off, right now we stopped all the public events. You know, it was Spring Festival, so there was a lot of, thirdly, we don't encourage, we call it traffic movements between the provinces or all this. Thirdly, even for those who are out of this province and this city, they are not encouraged to come out and stay at home or in a certain accommodations for at least 2 weeks, because the incubation time is 2 weeks. And thirdly, I think that we are mobilizing the Chinese along with WHO and international experts to try to understand, analyze, and develop the medication and treatment. There are some indicating reports that some, for example, Thailand, they developed a certain, or some LOLs, the United States, or in some Chinese media, there are some local therapies. But I think right now, this stage, I can't say when we can, but we believe that all the Chinese, our resources, our expertise, all the institutions are focused on understanding and curing this virus, including the international efforts, WHO as a leading organization. So fourthly, I think right now, for me, basically, my most important job is to prevent the spread or the possible spread of this virus or cases into Pakistan. You know that between China and Pakistan, we have a relatively large community, 10,000 people, Chinese people in Pakistan. And also we have a lot more than in Pakistani community in China. So this is my current emergency and that to prevent. So I'm in daily basis, having contact with your health ministry, foreign ministry, local government, and the medical and national institution of health and this. So far, there's no, as your health minister said, there's no confirmed cases. There were 7 cases of suspicion, and after the analysis, that they are all cleared. They are the ordinary cold. So this we are monitoring. For example, for the Chinese, we are monitoring every and each of the Chinese person in Pakistan. Every day they are reporting to us whether they have this cold. If they have a special kind of symptoms of fever, coughing, and short of breath something, then there is a designated hospitals in different provinces, and a specific team will look after them. For example, the day before that, there was a lady, I think, who got some kind of coughing and the temperature, so he went to the service hospital and later on cleared this ordinary cold or something. So we are very much alert. For the Pakistanis right now, because yesterday the regular flights are resumed, but we have already cut the frequency of the regular flights by half. Mostly that they come. So right now we have developed a system with your Ministry of Health for the Pakistanis. For example, they have to be isolated and observed for 2 weeks before traveling. Before traveling, they need a kind of certification of health check, in particular for the lungs and this. There's no kind of affection or something. After coming here, like the Chinese, they will put a kind of observation or isolation maximum for 14 days again. We are also keep the tracking of every income passengers. But this is, I think, what's the most important job for me now.
Okay, so you have well elaborated about cases of Pakistanis in China. We have seen a lot of videos on social media and media where students are in panic and they want to come back to Pakistan, and few have made a way to come in directly via different flights. So some countries also taken their students to respective country, and they were having camps to treat them and all that. How far is this case true that many Pakistani students want to come back to Pakistan because of this issue, but Chinese are not letting them to come here?
Yeah, basically I have to make a little difference. There are two different situations in China. One is we call the Hubei province and Wuhan city, because this is we call the red zone, which is locked down. So the Pakistani students and other citizens in this area, that we don't, because including 11 million Chinese citizens in this place, in this city, they are all not allowed to come out because it is a possible risk or a potential risk for them. For the other provinces, although there are specific cases, dozens or something, but they are still allowed to travel and to do that. So there are different two situations. What's that we see the panic, I totally understand, because this kind of panic by the Pakistani students, we have seen more by the Chinese citizens in the Chinese media. Because in the very beginning stage, for example, starting from 22nd of January till I think within that first week, we can see a lot of, because first, even the Chinese government, Chinese society, Chinese people, they are not used to that. They are suddenly that everything changed and this. But you can check that after the first week, after we get a little more ready in dealing with this challenge, this kind of complaints or this panic have been significantly decreased. These days, for example, we saw two video clips from one from I think from Wuhan students, for the Pakistan students in Wuhan. Another is called another city called Xiangyang. That is another city in Hubei province. Both the students. So in fact, when we got these media clips, we immediately report to our government local. So the local universities, local governments have provided all the necessary commodities food, water, these preventive materials and all this. So you can see, in fact, after this preliminary or the some kind of panic reaction at the beginning stage, right now things are a little calmed down. Because I believe that the students, they can understand that this is an unprecedented situation, and we need a little time to make it in order. But I think right now they are more and more much better looked after. You mentioned another that is for the other students, other community. In fact, like in Beijing, in Guangzhou, in Shenyang, in this, I got a lot of also clips. They are expressing their solidarities and support. Your second question, of course, that the students from other parts of China, if they can have this observation for 14 days with no symptoms, they have a further observation and with this kind of physical check, they are free to come back. They are free to. Then you mentioned this evacuation. We call it evacuation. This is not encouraged. It's not allowed or not allowed. If we don't allow, then the United States, they are taking all their diplomats out. And there are some other countries like Russia, like Japan, they are also taking first is their consulate general people, then there's some company. But this is not encouraged. This is not even by the WHO. They say we don't encourage. Why? Because the major concern right now in the international community, major concern is not for China because we are affected. So we are doing our best. Major concern the spread of that. If to another third country, for example, the media report I saw that 2 more cases, confirmed cases in United States because among these evacuated. Another 2 more, I think, I don't know, in Russia also, and Germany also. They are all this evacuation caused spread of this. So I think your government made a very scientific and responsible decision because I believe, also your health experts believe that by staying in China, that their health and welfare could be best served instead of a hurried evacuation something. And for the past several cases, several evacuation actions or operations have proved that this could be more risky than this because first, we are dealing with this virus for the longest time. Second, we have the richest experience. Thirdly, the local people, local authority know how to deal with it. If a fresh case in a third country, it could be, I think, a little more panic given to the local community. So this is, I think, but we say that if the Pakistani citizens are willing to come back, facilities will be provided.
One last question,
Please.
Mr. Ambassador. We see that with every outbreak, there has some links with economy. So does coronavirus has impact on CPAC or One Belt, One Road initiative? And we also followed that Donald Trump said that this coronavirus is good for America. How do you see it?
I think that, yes. For first, let's because China basically is a big economy. And our economy, I think, basically is based on manufacturing. So because of this sudden outbreak of the virus or the crisis, definitely the domestic economy will be affected. But in the long term, we believe that our economy is strong because our economy, for example, is not only focused on a certain sector. We have covered almost the sectors. So in fact, according to some kind of the estimation by some economists in China, that for the first quarter of China, because of first quarter of this year, that our economy could slow down or affected a little because we put a lot of resources to control that. But after the second quarter, that seems. Our cooperation with Pakistan or the BRI, our cooperation with the international community could not be judged by 1 quarter or 2 quarters. It is a long term. And in fact, for example, our CPAC projects, although that according to our understanding, there are more than 30 projects ongoing here. But this kind of outbreak that don't have the direct relevance to the ongoing or these operating projects, because right now most of the projects have been completed, and the new project is under new negotiations. So they can, for the complete project, basically the Pakistani engineers, they are running it, power plant, and the Chinese only have the management set. For the new project like ML1, they are the major one, or some hydropower station. This negotiation, we can continue by the video, by the email, by these other means. They won't stop. Even right now, we are still planning. The April, we have the 10th JCC meeting and this. So for this, and for the other BRI project, basically we look at them from the long-term perspective. So I'm confident.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Investor, for your time. Viewers, stay safe, and if you get flu or sore throat, do visit doctor. In next
Yes.
program, we will come up with some other issue. Goodbye.